But you just see how clever and crafty is Moultrie is on the ball.
McMinnville right back. Again, a couple breakdowns in transition by each team. McMinnville broke down, Wilsonville got an easy one, and right there, oftentimes the games are won and lost with defensive transition.
Yeah, Moultrie's gonna call her own number, a little short. Boy, she really heated up yesterday. Good. Nice defensive hustle. We got a 2-on-1, a beautiful bounce pass to Moultrie, and then no, she's missed a couple bunnies early here. Arsner looks to push. Gonna go right to the rack. Can't get it to go. Maybe looking for the contact, but not enough. Jekyll coast to coast. Good looking hoop for Rhyme Jekyll.
There's definitely not a clinic on transition defense, I'm going to tell you that right now. Some breakdowns on each side, giving up easy baskets. It's a recipe for disaster. We'll have to clean that up with the first.
And I really don't think Wilsonville wants to get into this running back and forth with the limited number of bodies that they have on offer and having got so many minutes logged yesterday.
This time of year, kids are in pretty good shape, but it's that first couple minutes they're going to have to catch their breath and get that second win. It's kind of a exhausting little first 4 minutes for both groups here, but again, up and down, kind of a frenetic pace so far.
I vaguely remember back to health and life fitness class where the most of your energy is in that third aerobic phase. A 2-point lead now for the Grizzlies. Full court press here. And they're gonna back it up a little bit. Nice pass, Moultrie, and a quick look for Rita down low. She's been finding space, and again, if they're gonna press, they're gonna have to figure out their defense. And right on cue, coach needs to talk about it.
Yeah, that full court pass, one-handed by Moultrie was unique and special. You don't see too many high school kids that can make that play. On the other side of it, if I'm McMinnville here, anytime a player puts it back in one hand like that, I should be able to adjust and see that and try to make at least a play on that. But again, breakdowns on defense, I think that's what McMinnville's talking about. Wilsonville's got to like the start. They probably need to talk a little bit about McMinnville posting up some smaller players. Ryan Jacobs got caught twice down inside with behind the post, so she's going to have to either make an adjustment or maybe go back to the zone. We'll see what they do out of this timeout. I'll be curious.
Yeah, we've seen Farida El-Mahani really find some space down low and get a couple good looks. 3 of them able to convert twice.
Just hustle, running the floor. That's just a great job by her running the floor.
Yeah, Arsner able to draw some contact and get herself back to the line. She's a big body heading off to Pitt.
Little horns action there. They used her as a screener and then a driver on the second option. Physical specimen for sure.
Yeah. What's she doing? Calling out the defense for after the free throw?
As good as she is, she probably calls whatever she wants, I would think, right?
Yeah, right. A really good look. There we go. Gabby gets it going with the 3. Shoot or shoot. And she put up a lot of shots, but really justified taking all those shots yesterday. Went off for 37, 39, something like that. Heck of an afternoon.
Defensively, both teams, one thing we always try to do is prevent your best player from going off. And right now, both Arsner and Moultrie are off to hot starts.
Again, Moultrie back ironing off, but she's definitely going to get her shots. That's a good unselfish look. That was Riley McManus. Nice pass. Chip thought about it. Nice little cut into the lane, gets herself a better look. And Farida working hard, can't get the rebound, can't get the second chance to go down, but working down low.
She's kind of a grit kind of a player there. Kind of running the floor well, plays bigger than she is. I like her.
And a great block right on cue there. 14 on the clock. Arsner again, but no, and here we go with Jekyll. Quickly the other way. Spinning into the lane, maybe too many steps, and that's what it was. Want to play quick, but not in a hurry. Isn't that a John Wootenism?
Yeah, that old John Wooden, the pyramid of success, and I've quoted John quite a few times.
Oh, that was another one.
Got to get that ball down. Riddle back in the game there for McMinnville.
Jacob's going to bring it across the timeline. Back to Moultrie. Cross-court pass. Blankenship. They're working the ball around nicely. Get Moultrie another look. Not quite as hot shooting as yesterday, but she's got the talent. She'll get it going. Just a good look and out-of-bounds play.
And just a poor defensive effort there by McMinnville. You've got to take that pass away. You cannot allow that to go. And again, good recognition by Moultrie.
Yeah, Audrey Counts with a nice hit, and then pure three for Riley McManus. And the lead is 4. Moultrie right back, and Audrey can't get this one to go. Wonder how much basketball she played with her grandfather. Riley McManus heating up, a couple in a row, and they're really trying these long entry passes, trying to go quick, but that one's the turnover. Like you said yesterday, I think you'd rather have that dead ball turnover than lose it in transition.
And Farida's run the floor really well. Give her a lot of credit. I mean, this is a 10-30 game. You know, they just got beat by a bajillion yesterday, and she's out there as their real only post option. I don't look at the bench and go, you know, there's a backup for you.
I've been really impressed with the Wilsonville fitness. I mean, they running 6 as well as they did yesterday, to be back here the next morning and certainly hustling.
It's good to be 16 or 17, right?
Isn't it? I can't remember. Good to go down low, and a nice hoop for Brooklyn Summers. Clearing out some room for herself in the post. Blankenship. Yeah, back to Farida, tries to go glass, and look at her working off the ball, maybe a couple steps, but she didn't have control yet. Back to Moultrie, she hasn't quite found that stroke yet. And quickly, numbers for McMinnville, the strong take, that's Allison Jensen. She's gonna get herself a couple free throws.
Here's a basketball axiom for you. Long shots lead to long rebounds, leading to long runouts. And right now in transition, both teams, especially Wilsonville, getting hurt here in transition. And eventually easy shots that you get in transition put you in a bad spot.
Yeah, we're seeing that.
It's almost 10 now, and it was just 2 just a second ago. Little 8-0 run here by McMinnville.
Yeah, we'll see what Wilsonville can't do to right the ship. And quick look right inside, wide, all by herself. A nice looking hoop for Farida. And she's doing some damage down low. Tough pass to handle there. Above Allison Jensen's head, but magnanimously she's taking credit for the turnover. Really feeding Farida now. Good motion. Get Moultrie another good look. Counts with the nice rebound. Jekyll can't get it to go. And a strong rebound for Ruby Riddle.
A little adjustment, Wilsonville. You notice Moultrie not at the point guard as much to get her on the wing. Maybe something they saw on the scout. against McMinnville, where the wing's a little bit more available than the top. And,
right, running her more.
She's getting good looks. Those are clean looks for Wilsonville. So again, sometimes the shot doesn't go in. I think both teams at the quarter here need to talk a little bit about guarding. There's been some wide open looks for both groups. 25 points in a quarter given up by Wilsonville is not a good number. And McMinnville, Farida has gotten multiple lay-ins in transition and inside.
Lydia Angevine checking into the game for the first time. And Summers, tough offensive rebound, and then 2 players on the floor. A scrum and a no-look pass from the floor. Ruby Riddle, it's a turnover, but great hustle. And Moultrie not afraid, and she had to let that one go quick right before the buzzer goes. But a little bit of an early hole for Wilsonville. 25-16 is our score after 1.
Yeah, certainly conversations here on both groups talked about transition defense, I think, first. That would be the first thing I would talk about. One thing about timeouts, I think, for the fans that watch is, we see the emotion of the beginning, but we always try to break it up into parts. Maybe the first 5 seconds talk about something that didn't go right there at the end, but then you have to talk strategies and techniques. You can't linger and worry about something that just happened. You got to get them quick and then get into tactics, and I would think both teams tactically right now, defensive transition. McMinnville feels good about putting 25 up. That's a 100-point pace here. Wilsonville's going to have to tighten up the defensive transition. One thing when Moultrie shoots those long threes from the wing rather than the top, they're not getting defensive transition rotation. Everybody's crashing, and then nobody on the weak side is getting back, and that's leading to easy leak outs for McMinnville. And McMinnville's got to talk about the easy shots Farida's gotten. She's been able to get lead-ins in transition, and just a couple times in the half court, their zone rotation was incorrect, and she got easy buckets. So I think both teams need to tighten up defensively and then continue offensively to let it fly, because they're both putting points up.
Well, we'll see who makes the proper adjustments as we get ready on the alternating possession. Wilsonville and Navy Blues going to get us going here for the second quarter. Jekyll running the point. Kick it over to Farida. Back to Blankenship. Swing to Moultrie. And a cross-court pass. A good look for Farida. Back outside, a little in-out game. Leads to an open look for Blankenship, who hustles. Can't quite find it. And yes, the offensive board back for the Wilsonville Wildcats. Jekyll, quick on the dribble. Back to Moultrie. She's going to let it go. Still searching for that feathery touch she showed us yesterday. Strong on the dribble for the pit-bound Macy Arsner.
Straight line drive there. That's a no-no.
Right, you got to just move your feet a little bit better and
yeah,
not afraid to let it go.
And then right back, Moultrie. Again, having a good tournament. And again, as you said, letting it fly so far.
Well, once you see one of those go in, they can come in bunches. And great defense. Jekyll and Farida kind of double blocked that one out of bounds for McMinnville.
Yeah, and I would say Jensen there, once she sees that double team coming, somebody is open. That's where you have to throw that bounce maybe to your big or continue on the baseline.
Chiavaro, the first off the bench for Wilsonville. And a good look into Summers down low. Nice pass out of Macy Arsner. And 2 free throws coming for Brooklyn Summers.
McMinnville certainly the bigger team. Arsner a big guard, Summer a good sized post. McManus a legitimate wing forward with some length and size. So again, that advantage has shown a little bit early here.
Moultrie. Tough pass, but handled by Chiavaro. Gonna dip it into Farida. Got itself into trouble, but great anticipation. Ryan Jekyll read the play, laid it in with the left hand, leads down to 8.
Hustle plays. That'll pay off.
backdoor cut. No foul. Good pass from the floor. Back to Summers. Can't get it to go. Offensive rebound. Hustles for herself.
3 offensive rebounds and a 4th.
Yeah, we saw some of this yesterday. I don't know if size is a factor here. If what Wilsonville can do to get a defensive box out and hopefully control a few more of these rebounds. They're just causing a little extra work for themselves.
Yeah, they're going to have to find a body, and again, we just talked a little bit about that size differential. McMinnville clearly a little bit bigger unit. Summer, a true post. I think Farida plays that for Wilsonville, but does that at a disadvantaged height. Great hustle player,
right?
For sure. But and again, McMinnville has a scheme where they're always got somebody down there. They're not a perimeter-oriented team. They can play a little inside out, play through Arsner. And that, when you've got bodies down there, that leads to being in the right spot.
Moultrie, no nonsense. The little jump hook in the lane, can't get it to go. She's committed to getting her offense. See Summers working hard to find some post, and a nice rebound for Jekyll. Quickly the other way. Not afraid to try to run this thing in transition. Moultrie still
long rebound.
Yeah. Wilsonville's getting their share of offensive boards as well. Like you said, Coach, long shots, long rebounds, and a strong rebound there for Taylor Terry. Arsner, a big point guard to run the show. And a beautiful little dish inside. Brooklyn Summers all caused as the defense collapsed on Macy Arsner.
Wilsonville's got to be a little careful here. This is danger zone.
And this is what they need. Can't quite get it to go yet.
And again, poor transition here. They're going to give up a wide open look in transition.
Oh yeah, Riley McManus for 3, and it's kind of all systems go right now for McMinnville. See if Wilsonville has an answer. Yeah, good looking elbow jumper. Audrey counts. Nice hoop, and get together and talk about it.
The dilemma a little bit for Wilsonville is they play fast, and so they're going to shoot early in the shot clock. Well, when things aren't going well, those early shots in the offense can lead to runouts, can advantages for the opponent, and McMinnville's taking advantage of that, and it can kind of steamroll a little bit. The emotions, you shoot, you don't get the rebound, now you're back on D. You shoot, get the rebound, you're back on D. So those things can kind of steamroll. So my guess is Wilsonville talking a little bit about maybe what I would think about doing here is maybe taking a couple possessions and milking a little, try to shorten the game a little, get it under 10 going into halftime. It's 13 right now. Got 4 minutes to go. Get it back to 6 or 8 going into halftime. Regroup a little, because you know they'll shoot better. I think they're a good shooting team right now. They're a little cold from 3.
Right.
And then come back out in the second half.
It's got to be a little tough because it doesn't seem to be their identity as a basketball team. Usually they have more numbers, they can press and run, and all of a sudden, you know, they're forced into this situation and that different style of play that you're talking about.
And that's where savvy comes in. That's where coaching savvy. That's where coaches make a difference. And you're right, they are a team that normally plays up tempo, but you got to be able to adjust. If you want to win a state championship, you got to be able to do certain things different, because you're not always going to get the perfect game. At Oregon City, we won a lot of games in the half court, and we were traditionally a run and press team, but we knew when we played the very best teams in the state, we weren't going to be able to press and just run them out of the gym. So you've got to be able to adjust, and I think that's one thing that Wilsonville can take away and go into halftime thinking, you know what, and again, I don't mean every possession. If they're going to get the fast break, that's what they're going to do, but I liked what they did when they ran a little weave action, got Jekyll on a downhill drive. Because right now it's nothing but threes and then going the other way.
Yeah, I saw that weave. Reminded me of the old Princeton offense, and good to see Gabby get herself to the free throw line. If the three isn't falling, you know, attack the basket, right? Get it to go a few times. Maybe they'll start really respecting your drive, giving you a little bit more room to get the three going and get all phases of your offense clicking.
One of the best ways to get your shot going is drive and get fouled. Free throws are easy, at least they should be. And you should end up
Pretty bounce pass to get Counts, who's still fighting and gets the tie up. Good hustle. They'll get the possession arrow next possession. And a 13-point lead in the ball for the McMinnville Grizzlies.
Wilsonville back zone, kind of their MO.
Yeah,
a little bit of their dilemma is they're allowing easy catches in the danger zones. You want to attack a zone, high post, short corner, and the ball's just getting there way too easy.
Yeah, nice little drive out of Counts, and she gets that one to go. Oh, sorry, excuse me, Elisa Chiavaro.
Nice play.
Yeah, nice hoop.
Over Arzner, who contested that.
Yeah, she was decisive, put the ball on the floor early and went to the basket with conviction. We've seen that little shovel pass off the drive for Macy feeding Brooklyn a couple times now. Some good looking basketball. Threes around and off. And Chiavaro, another offensive board. Jekyll hounded, maybe fouled, but they're gonna keep possession. Working hard off the ball on the defense is Riley McManus. Ruby Riddle's gonna check back in. Gabby to Blankenship. Blankenship back to Jekyll. Jekyll back, a good open look for Moultrie. She can't get this one to go.
McMinnville a little fortunate that Moultrie, she's had some good looks.
She sure has. And those big bodies inside. Gonna have a jump ball, and this one's gonna go over to Wilsonville.
All three of the bigs there had that basket surrounded.
Yeah, not shy to go after the offensive rebounds of the McMinnville Grizzlies. See what kind of look Wilsonville can't get.
Minute 30, probably 3 more possessions for McMinnville.
See if they can't get this into single digits. Hounded on the ball, but we've got a foul. Should be a non-shooter with only 2 team fouls.
The dilemma there is the shot clock reset in high school, back to 35. So now you're McMinnville. I'd milk this out, shoot it late in the shot clock, then you get it back one more time. That would only give Wilsonville 1 more possession.
Do you want to see that shot clock shorten? It seems like an eternity for this
Should
game.
be 30, yeah. It should be 30, and I would argue that I would love in the college to go to 24, but if they could play in Canada, international 24 seconds when they're 5 years old. So,
wow, yeah.
If you can do it there, I think that it leads to more possessions, which leads to more skill development. It leads to more opportunities for players to be better. And I think America needs to look at that, because you see all the European players that come out. They're all playing 24-second shot clock from a very young age.
Right, you got to get into your offense, and you got to get it quick.
That's the way the game was meant to be played, I believe.
Gabby, nice little bounce pass down low. Counts with a pretty spin move into the lane. She gets that to go.
Now, what should have happened right there? I'll give you some basketball 101. McMinnville should have rolled the ball out, waited for the ball, the main clock to get under 35, and
held it for 1 possession.
Held it for 1.
Yeah.
So now, in theory, Wilsonville's going to get it 1 more time.
And look at the nice steal, although she's lucky to get that going back, and we'll see them hold it for 1. We should. Here's Counts on the ball. Dribble it about 6 seconds and get your offense rolling. Chiavaro back to Counts. 7 on the game clock. It's time to get it rolling. Moultrie gonna call her own number. A great crash, but not in time for Elise Chiavaro, and it's gonna be an 11-point lead at halftime for the McMinnville Grizzlies.
But not bad. They got the last shot, and they almost got a quick putback on that. So, I mean, if you're at Wilsonville, you executed well at the end there. Their dilemma, again, 42 points and a half in a high school game. That's a lot of points to give up.
Well, we'll eagerly await the halftime stats. As good of a shooting effort as we saw out of Gabby Moultrie, and certainly in the second. I mean, she was lighting it up yesterday, showcasing her talent. Not quite as deft of a stroke this morning, but but you anticipate her getting on track, and she's got some pretty good looks.
Basketball's a funny game. If 2 more of those threes come back, we're talking about a 42-38, 42-39 game, and it's close. So I think Wilsonville, thank you. Looking at the stats, I'll give a quick thing and hand it over to you. Rebounds are fairly even. Your dilemma a little bit. McMinnville 9 offensive rebounds, although Wilsonville, give them some credit, 12 offensive rebounds according to the stats. Only 3 turnovers, 4 turnovers for McMinnville, so that's the 2 big stats I always look at first is rebounds and turnovers. And now you got to look at the shooting. McMinnville 14 for 30. It's a pretty high percentage, and a lot of those in transition lay-ins. Wilsonville 13 for 39, and the big one, 3 for 17 from 3.
Yeah, and they're a good three-pointing shooting team, so they had some good looks. They weren't getting the ball, the baskets to fall. From a coaching and scheme standpoint, I think that they actually got into their offense pretty nicely. They just didn't quite find the rhythm, the shooting rhythm, like they had yesterday. It's been a tough draw with 6 and 7 kids suited up.
Yeah, and again, it sometimes basketball just comes down to making shots. We try to overanalyze it. We try to do too much, and the reality of it is 3 for 17. 2 more of those go down. You're talking about a 42-37 game, and 3 more go down, and we're talking about almost a tie game. So, again, the rebounds even, turnovers fairly even. I would, number one, clean up the defensive transition for sure. And after that, I would just be a super positive coach in that Wilsonville locker room and say, you know what, let it fly. Just keep letting it fly. Yeah. They're going to go. And that's who we are. That's what we're going to go. That's what we're going to hang our hat on. An occasional possession where they might take a little time just to get a good look, because I think in time they're going to get a good look against McMinnville. And McMinnville's got to be happy where they're at. Shooting a very good percentage, getting good looks, and then 11 for 12 at the foul line also. And that's kind of been the difference in the game right now. Is they're 11 for 12 and Wilsonville only 2 for 2, along with the 3-point shooting.
Yeah, pretty impressive stat line here for Macy Arsner. She's got 6 boards. She's drawn 5 fouls. She's threatening a triple-double here. She's got 17 points, 4 assists, and 6 boards. They've got 3 players in double figure scoring with Brooklyn and Riley McManus with 10 apiece.
That's their big 3, and that's what you like as a coach. With you want to have consistency. You want your best players to play good consistently. And Arsner was 17. That's probably quite a bit above her halfway average. Probably 10, 10, and 10 would be a good mix. But today, actually, shooting really well, 5 for 9 and 6 for 6 at the foul line, which is an efficient way to score.
Yeah. So are you going to try to run some sets to get Gabby to the basket so she can kind of get to the foul line, get that shooting touch, and then open up all aspects of her game? Or you just think that the same looks are going to go down and she's that good of a player that, it's just kind of a numbers game. She'll get her stroke back on.
Yeah, good question. I think obviously not being there every day in practice. One thing we have to remember is we're not there every day at practice. We can only kind of watch and assess from where we're at. And clearly Moultrie's their number 1 option. And, you might want to design some options where it gets out of her hand and then comes back to her, gets her in a little bit better rhythm. You might want to create some isolation situations where she can get to the basket and get fouled. Those are little adjustments you can make, but ultimately, players got to make plays. And that's why when you see the Division I schools that come out and the big-time programs come out, they recruit the players that make plays. And for Wilsonville, I think they've got to tighten up the defensive first and try to get giving up, close to 42 points and a half is not a good half defensively. But at the same time, I think, being within 11, 4 possessions, you want to get it probably under 6, under 8 going into the fourth quarter, maybe even cut it to even. First 4 minutes will be big, I'll tell you that right now. First 4 minutes of this third quarter will be big for Wilsonville.
So are you cautious to phrase things in the positive? I know as a golf caddy, you don't want to tell somebody don't put it in the water on the left. You play the right side of the fairway, sure. And obviously you're making some corrections, but are you cautious to frame the language, in a positive light?
Everybody's different. Everybody has their different approaches. You know, some coaches are going to come in and stomp around and hit the chalkboard and break a clipboard and get everybody mad, and other coaches are going to approach it with a positive mindset, saying, you know what, the next shot's going to go in. Here's where we need to make changes. I think the emotion only goes so far when you're coaching. I think if you want to be that guy that's stomping and storming all the time, that wears thin rather quickly, and it doesn't create longevity. It might create short-term gains. You might get an emotional burst, and there's a time for that. I think everybody can agree that there's a time when we need to play harder and the emotion needs to come out and teams are flat, and it is an appropriate time to get a team fired up. But for the most part, you know, basketball, you know, is a game that the team that wins typically plays harder and shoots better, and then you go down the list of, okay, after shooting, what comes next? Typically it's rebounding or turnovers, depending on that. And both teams are taking care of the basketball. The rebound battle's even. It really comes down to McMinnville shooting better. And so, again, not knowing Wilsonville really well and not knowing McMinnville well, but knowing that I would try to make sure that if I'm McMinnville, I'm continuing to do the same thing I'm doing. Hey, when they go zone, here's where we're going to try to go. We're going to try to play through the high post and go high-low, and let's continue to run in transition. If you're Wilsonville, you got to clean that defensive transition up. And, again, I think Gabby's a kid who plays club basketball, plays year-round. She knows her own game. I think that we have to give our players some power in the things, empower them to be able to make those adjustments. And then if you're a coach that knows her well, I know Coach Duke is sick today and he is not here with his group, so that probably hurts a little bit because you're and a coach and a point guard like that have a close relationship. And so his ability to give her some advice. Coach Van Acker now probably in there just trying, let's see if we can't do a couple things different. Get to the foul line a little bit, 2 for 2 at the foul line. Okay, what's that tell you? Well, they're not really attacking the basket much. Right? And McMinnville, 11 for 12, what's that tell you? Well, they're very aggressive around the basket. And so, that little adjustment there, can we get to the foul line, even that up? Can we get something cheap in transition? And then can we hope that our best players make plays? And that's ultimately what it comes down to. If your best player is 2 for 15, you're probably behind. And that's not a knock on Gabby. She's a great player. But when your best player is 2 for 15, you're going to have a tough time. And she turns that around the second half and goes, 7 for 10. We're talking about a chance that Wilsonville has to turn this game around.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. And let's not forget, they're missing their 6'3" center in Peyton Ratcliffe, who unfortunately had some kind of medical problem. Not quite a sports injury, but I think she needed a little surgery to deal with some kind of mini rupture. I didn't get exactly the full story, but she's a key component, and there's a couple other missing players, obviously. So just really had to change their style, and they're showing a lot of grit and fortitude, playing and hanging as tough as they have been.
Yep. Should be an interesting second half. Like I said, I really think the first 4 minutes are going to be huge here. Can Wilsonville kind of right the ship a little bit, get a couple buckets, and most importantly, get a couple stops? And if you're McMinnville,
and defensive boards, they're just so frustrating, or it'll wear you down to keep making the stop, getting the miss, and then giving them second and third chances.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Nice facility here at Franklin. I like how it gets so much natural light.
Yeah, they've done a great job with the PIL redos of all the schools. I grew up, in East County, Gresham area, and we would play, occasional PIL games and be out as I got older in City League games and those kind of things. And they did a great job here. I was over at Lincoln High School last night. Beautiful remodel there. I looked at a brand new building. McDaniel is a nice setup. Parking is always an issue with the PIL schools, although Franklin a little bit easier when you get here early. So they're doing a nice job. And again, this is a great facility, great setup. We're up top here looking down. They've got a great hospitality room with some great sponsors. We had NoHo's Hawaiian last night over at Lincoln. Voodoo Donuts in the morning. Human Bean Coffee, some great sponsors.
Sounds dangerous.
Good stuff, my man. Us poor teachers, college, junior college guys, we don't make a lot, so we got to figure out whatever we can do.
Well, you sure contribute a lot. are just about ready to go here. Like you said, Coach, the first 4 minutes are going to tell us a lot.
Looks like the same 5 for each group. McMinnville starts it. Big stop. I really do think this is a big stop for Wilsonville right here. It appears they're matching up man-to-man, as Bill Rafferty would say.
Here it is, Arsner going to kick it over to Ruby Riddle. Ruby Riddle down to Jensen. Back to Summers. A little handoff and a shot, back iron, and a good box out this time. Audrey Counts, one and done on the offensive end. We'll see what Wilsonville quickly calls her own number around and out, but a Johnny on the spot rebound for Blankenship.
Yeah, probably had Moultrie in that backside corner. I don't think she saw her. That's a tough turnover because offensive boards usually lead to good things.
Riddle going to kick it to Jensen. Down low to Summers. Back to Jensen. Back to Riddle. Kind of dribbled herself out of great position, and we're going to reset. Back outside. Arsner has it. Checked by Counts.
Under
and
5
a quick
here.
little crossover left hand, a nifty move. Can't get it to go. Riddle crashing in, and she's rejected by Audrey Counts. And we've got numbers if they use it, but a no-look pass to nobody, unfortunately, for Audrey Counts.
Ooh.
Blankenship, they're having a little talk. And somehow that was deflected, and the ball's going to stay with the Wildcats.
I didn't see that, but he was much closer at a good angle.
Maybe he heard it.
That
Fingertip.
referee, I forgot his name, but he's a good one. He's
Counts. Maybe just. That's another good look off an inbounds. Their sets have been working.
Yeah, 0 for 3 to start for Wilsonville. That's a tough start because they've held McMinnville
Right.
to the same. Both teams out cold here.
Down low to Riddle. She's going to turn a little jump hook. Can't get it to go. Farida with the board. Quickly the other way. Here comes Moultrie. Is she going to get to the basket? She sure is. A pretty layup on the left side. And we're into single digits. 9-point lead.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, a little off-the-ball collision. And I guess Jekyll's going to get called for the foul, trying to deal with the post position and the strength of Brooklyn Summers.
That's a tough one. Both got a little tangled up there.
Yeah, it's been a battle. Summers has really been working hard to get herself some good post position. And Arsner with a quick reset. Riddle with the offensive board. Another 3 is up quickly and around and off. Farida and Summers fighting, and Farida rips it out of her hands. Jekyll the other way. Quickly down low to Farida, running the floor well, and the 4-0 start of the half has got the lead down to 7.
So Farida hustle play here.
Yeah.
84 feet away and gets the lay-in on the other side. I'm impressed. I like how that kid plays.
She's got a good motor on her. And Arsner is going to fight and get it ripped away. Counts really in there. A lot of tenacity and fight, and then her defender just kind of left her. The seas parted, and a 6-0 run to start the half for Wilsonville. And we're looking at a 5-point game.
Yep. And again, first 4 minutes, Wilsonville, nice job getting some stops. And think about the 2 turnovers. Make one more of those, and now we're getting close to a 1-possession game. So good start for them. McMinnville looking to regroup here. Wilsonville's playing a little harder right now. They came out with some energy and effort. And that goes a long way.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of answers Coach Costi has. Costi,
his dad was a great coach at the coast area for a long time. Sean's family been in education and coaching forever. Really a good person. Known him for a long time. He was at Beaverton High School for a long time. Had a lot of success. Down to McMinnville. Got that program. I don't want to. 10 years. I'd have to look it up, but he's done a great job. They're solid, and obviously the depth they've got, the players they've got, multiple players moving on to college. He's doing a great job.
Yeah, I had a brief conversation with him, and very friendly and clearly a nice program down there in wine country. Quick take on the left hand, and Riley McManus is going to draw the foul, get herself to the line. A good way to settle things in the second half here for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, if you're Wilsonville, you're a little frustrated by that foul. You never want to foul a jump shooter, especially in that mid-range analytics, because analytics will tell you that that shot's not what you want to get. It's wide open threes, wide open lay-ins.
And a right-hander going to her left hand, her offhand is probably can see what she can do there rather than give her the free trip to the foul line. And misses the second. A strong rebound for Rita. She's battling, and it is going to be a tie-up.
So that's a quick one. Sometimes I don't like how quickly the referees call that jump ball. Let them tussle for just a second.
And Farida was going to win that battle, and she did.
She was, and that's unfortunate because that's going to cost Wilsonville the next possession.
Yeah, she's working her butt off on that offensive glass on both ends. Really a good rebounder. And they need it. They're undersized and have gone up against some pretty big, good rebounding schools. Quick hands for Rhyme Jekyll there. Knock it out of bounds.
A little bit sloppy with the handles there by Arsner.
6-point McMinnville lead. Kick it over to Arsner. She's going to pull up for three. Back iron and off. Summers with the good board. Back to Arsner. Arsner's fake the shot. Fake the pass. Get up the shot. No dice this time. Jekyll just a little late on that window to get it down to counts. Knocked away. It's going to stay with Wilsonville. Into Farida. Back to Moultrie. Moultrie to Counts. Moultrie gets it back and gets her first three of the half to go. That's a good sign, and it's a three-point game. Good little two-man action between those two.
That's a nice little flare that they run out of that out-of-bounds set.
Strong drive, but she lost the handle there. Taylor Terry, I guess it was knocked away, and we're going to stay McMinnville possession. 18 on the clock. Arsner to inbound. Flashing down. Allison Jensen had some space. There's the three, and there's three white jerseys all over this rebound. Tough to get a body on everybody. Summers, not a three-point shooter, going to dip it down to Arsner, and beautiful hands. Audrey Counts with the steal. The long look out. Good passing, and Counts gets her feet right, but can't get the layup to go. Quickly the other way, Arsner, strong drive, but a little out of control. And there to clean up the mess, Taylor Terry. Wide open. Wide open, Farida just keeps running, and they keep leaving her. Back and forth we go, 45-42 McMinnville.
Now again, didn't McMinnville have 42 at halftime?
No, they've at least got one free throw? And a hoop. And clearly a lot of body contact there as Jensen hits the deck.
So just doing the math there, it was 42-31 halftime, so you got a little...
We're going to scorekeeping malfunction?
No, I think we're good. It's just an 11-3 run. Wilsonville's really started out well. Last 3 minutes, now this is where your depth might catch you. You're going to have to sustain it. McMinnville's more physical inside, but again, Wilsonville has prevented the easy shots in this first four, so we'll see how this continues to go.
Chiavaro back in the game. She's provided some depth, grabbed a few rebounds, played her part on the defensive end. Oh, yeah, just ran that cut too close to the baseline, stepped out of bounds for Blankenship. Kind of a sloppy turnover there, unforced.
Yeah, that's good action. They do a good job against that zone of getting the ball to the baseline and then throwing that drift to the back corner. That's worked multiple times against the McMinnville zone.
Summers miles away from the post. She's going to get it back to Arsner. Straight line drive. And this has been their go-to offense. Arsner to Summers, but she can't get it to go. And Counts gets herself fouled after a nice defensive board. The first foul of the quarter for McMinnville.
I would expect some sort of set play here from Wilsonville to get a 3.
It's Ryan looking for Moultrie again. Back to Blankenship. Blankenship. Moultrie. Oh, a quick dribble. She's really got a lot of make you miss. Maybe thinks she drew some contact, but no whistle. Arsner, straight line drive, left hand, switches it. Good looking basket for her. And they've ratcheted up the on-ball pressure here. Maybe trying to take the legs out from Wilsonville with some sustained pressure. Back to Jekyll. She's double teamed, fighting, a little frustrated, but she.
I truly believe in on-ball pressure in the women's game, taking away options. Little lob play there.
Quick
Wilsonville. Again, if I'm Coach Costi, I'm extremely frustrated because the scouting report in special situations should cover that Wilsonville throws lobs 90% of the time.
And it's worked.
And it's worked
many times. So
yeah. The adjustments, number one, you have to be physical with the 2 players on the block and the backside. And then probably an adjustment I would make is put a really long athletic player on the ball to disrupt Moultrie. Because Moultrie's a great passer, but she's not very tall.
We saw that yesterday with Faith and Family and multiple deflections on inbound passes.
So, again, adjustments are part of what we can do as coaches. There's a lot of things we can't. I think a lot of people out think that coaches control a ton of things. But that's one thing that you can make an adjustment on based on what you see the opponents doing.
Well, we'll see next time they get one of those baseline inbounds plays if they make the adjustment. McManus over to Jensen. Back to McManus. Down low to Summers. Gets herself good position, draws the foul on counts, and she's got 2 free throws coming. Big, strong body, Brooklyn Summers.
Yeah, so Coach Costi, timeout. We're going to pound it inside, get an easy one, and 2 free throws here.
Pure stroke there, 6-point lead.
Yeah,
1:38 left in the first half. In the third quarter. And the lead back to 7. Moultrie across the timeline. Thinking about the 3. She had a little look. Blankenship, maybe a kick. They didn't call that. There's counts. Trying to get her feet right in the post. Over to Jekyll. And that first step, too tight a defense. Third team foul on McMinnville.
One thing I notice coming doing these games and recruiting out here is that the high school game, college, if you put 2 hands on a player, it is automatic. It's just automatic. And in here, a lot more physical. And some friends that from different places. One of my friends from California came up with his team, and he was kind of jokingly talking about they mug each other down there.
It's interesting at a younger level that they let them get away with more contact. Whirling around, not this time. Summers snatches the rebound. Arsner all the way forward. Too hot to handle. That was one of those NFL plays where the running back is thinking about making the first man miss before he catches the ball. I think McManus was thinking about where she wanted to go before she secured it. Over to Blankenship. Back to Moultrie. First step, maybe she drew a little contact, no whistle. Blankenship gets a pretty good look, and look at Counts just battling down low. So that's going to be a jump ball and possession arrow for McMinnville. Great hustle, Audrey Counts.
If you're McMinnville, you want to go really fast here and get a 2-for-1, but they're not gonna do that.
Arsner, back to Jensen. That's Taylor Terry. Down low to Summers, but not a great entry pass, and it's taken away. Audrey Counts spinning her way over to Blankenship. Does she want this shot so early in the clock? Maybe they'll realize that and hold it. No, she's going to reload and get this one to go. That's fine, but they've given the last shot of the quarter to McMinnville.
Yeah.
And the coaching staff knows it, and they're letting them know. 7 on the clock for Arsner. Quick little drive. She's going to kick it out, and the 3 is back ironing off. And, hey, we've got ourselves a competitive match.
Yep.
It's down to 4. A good quarter for Wilsonville Wildcats.
Yeah, let's do some math here. It was 31 at half, so they've got a 16-point quarter and held Wilsonville to 9. So it'll be interesting to see the stats from that quarter as far as efficiency and stuff. I think Wilsonville did a nice job of realizing the three-point shot was not going down today and attacking the basket a little bit more, which was a good adjustment by the coaching staff at Wilsonville.
They were able to execute that.
And clearly McMinnville cooled off a little bit, not shooting as well in that third quarter.
Yeah, they got some good looks early that didn't go down, and you wonder just for the psychological makeup of the game, had they blown that lead up, 14 or 15 early in the third quarter, if it would have taken a little sting out of the tail of the Wildcats. However, as the case would be, we've got a 4-point game going into the fourth quarter.
Now, this is, again, first 4 minutes. I think if you're McMinnville, you'd like to stretch this out. If you're Wilsonville, you're right where you want to be. Wilsonville gets the ball first. Again, execution here after timeout. Need a bucket.
Yeah, chance to cut it to 2 or 1 with the 3. There's Jekyll. Bounce down low to Farida, who's battling. Gets it outside, counts for the 3. Great offensive rebound, but Blankenship can't do it, and we're going to have a run-out layup for McMinnville.
The dreaded live ball turnover. Something with the shot clock there. They reset twice.
Right back. Good hit for Audrey Counts. And the lead is 3. Arsner. Back to McManus, but great anticipation and almost a clear path foul there. I don't think she's going to get it, but stepping right into the passing lanes, Audrey Counts.
Yeah, high school doesn't have that rule, but probably a good referee. I don't want to say good referee. Probably let that go and let Counts be rewarded for the good play, because I don't know if that contact was enough to slow her down, give her the 2 points on that transition. But here we go.
Yeah, we haven't seen anybody get into the penalty yet this game. Early foul for McMinnville. We'll see if Wilsonville tries to force the issue and get him to pick up another one. That looked like a little bit of contact that went. No over in the back on McMinnville touching the ball. Here's Jekyll, the left-handed dribble. She works well with both hands. Knocked away from Counts. Moultrie's going to let it fly inside the three-point line. Can't get that one to go. Her shooting from distance hasn't quite been there today.
Yeah, I'd encourage her to shoot the 3. That was a 18-footer that was a 2, probably the worst shot in basketball.
Right.
Just inside the three-point line. Might as well let it fly.
Arsner's going to pull up from 3 and get the friendly roll. Soft touch, Macy Arsner. Moultrie trying to get herself downhill. Counts. Do we have another 3? No, back iron, but Blankenship again. Great hustle, not the biggest player, but she's really got more than her share of offensive boards. And here's another offensive board. Moultrie, she's going to go right back down low, can't get it to rhyme. And it looks like Blankenship touched it last. Great hustle again. 6-point lead in possession for McMinnville.
There's an epidemic here of catch and shoot, which is a good thing. And defensively, Ben, I'll tell you that kind of a golden rule in basketball is you never want to let the offense shoot it where they catch it. Try to get them out of rhythm. So both teams are getting extremely good looks here on catch and shoots. And a little fortunate defensively that these shots haven't gone in, because typically the catch and shoot is the best shot in basketball from the three-point line.
Yeah, take it in rhythm. Get it up. Down to Summers. Gonna kick it out to McManus. Good looking stroke, and the lead is back to 9. Good little hesitation dribble out of Jekyll. Blankenship wants to let it go, and that's pure.
She's as they would say, sneaky good. She's hit a couple big ones.
Yeah, right when her team needed that. No hesitation, let it fly, nothing but net. Arsner to McManus. Over to Terry. Terry, a good look down into the post, feeding Brooklyn Summers. Moultrie, she's going to have to do something special here. A little crossover dribble. Gets herself into the lane. Chiavaro. Back to Blankenship. Chiavaro's going to let one go. Can't get it to go, and Summers, a strong board. Tiptoes the baseline and stays in bounds. A nice little Euro step in the lane. Macy Arsner, good footwork.
Yeah, not great transition D there. Again, long shot leads to long rebound. And Wilsonville,
yeah, tough.
Little danger zone again here. Little danger zone. It's at 4 possessions, 4 minutes.
Yeah, quickly back in as counts. This is kind of now or never for Wilsonville, and they're going to run some full court press themselves.
Yeah, probably a good move there. It's 10, maybe one more possession, a straight half court, and then you'd have to pick up pressure unless you can make something happen.
Well, they let inbound pretty easily to Summers, although they're trying to deny that second pass. Counts on Arsner. Gets it across the timeline.
I'd have tried to make Summer bring the ball down the floor.
Near turnover there. There's Ruby Riddle. Going to let it go. A good looking stroke from a long 2, but we're back to 12. And Jekyll with a good looking 3. Bang.
Yeah, the timeout on the make. Now you're probably going to have to make your defensive adjustments here if you're Wilsonville. Either going to commit to press and go there. And if you're McMinnville, you're talking press offense, take care of the basketball. The only way you give up a lead late in a game, there's 2 reasons. You turn the ball over and you don't rebound. So that's the 2 things I'd be talking about if I was Coach Costi.
Yeah, it seemed like kind of a half a press. They weren't fully committed to are they trying to deny the second pass rather than really swarming or double teaming the ball and trying to get the 10-second count or the turnover?
Yeah, not knowing their system completely. I know that they're typically a 1-1-3 press team, which would be 2 guards kind of in a tandem alignment with the 3 back and then drop back 2-3 zone. Here, I don't know if you have the time to do that. My guess is you got to get a little bit more aggressive. Maybe a 1-2-2 alignment, 1-2-1-1, 2-2-1, something with some max pressure to try to get something cheap and easy. I mean, it's 3 possessions, and with the shot clock, it's not terrible. I don't think they need to panic yet.
Well, there's a day off tomorrow, 3:51 to go in the quarter. It's time to leave it on the court. Oh. And immediately into some kind of press, although it doesn't look like they're going to guard the inbound, or they're going to try to deny that pass. And they should have an extra defender out there to do it. Into Summers. She's going to find Arsner. I think they want Arsner on the ball and quickly retreating into that zone. Wilsonville, there comes the 2-man pressure. Swing it to McManus. Back to Terry, and a good look, and the left hand goes for Ruby Riddle. She's got soft touch down there.
Just too deep a position there.
That was pretty pure looking.
They needed that.
Moultrie, they sure did.
They're going to need more of that. I think Gabby at this point needs to, I don't want to say completely take over, but she's going to have to make some plays for her team.
Yeah.
And you got to kind of live with your best player making plays.
Well, she got that one in rhythm, no hesitation. It looked good.
Yeah, it's 8. It's not ridiculously. I think you get a stop here and go quickly the other way.
McManus dribbling all over the place. Coach wants to talk about it. 13 left on the clock.
Ball's coming in at the side. Coach Cossey's going to draw something up, try to get a basket. If I'm Wilsonville, I'm going to try to disrupt something here. I don't want them to run their thing. I might switch defenses. We may double team the ball coming in. Certainly, Coach Cossey's drawn up a couple things last couple possessions to jam it inside. So if you're Wilsonville, you got to be ready for that.
Do you think Wilsonville already has their set that they want to run off of a defensive board or even a made basket?
Yeah, you're calling a play now. I don't know the timeout situation. They don't have a listing of the timeout situation up on the board. The other thing I'd be nervous about if I'm Wilsonville is they have 0 team fouls. So if they have to start fouling late in the game, if this gets to a 2 or 3 point possession, it might end up costing them. I had that happen to me early in my career. I cost my team the game. We started fouling with 2 minutes to go, like you do when you're down a little bit. We had a rally, and back then with 17 fouls, didn't have enough, and we lost the game because of my decision. So I'm always very cautious of how many team fouls there are on the clock and the time and score. So Wilsonville can be aggressive. That's the one thing. They can be ultra aggressive. I wouldn't foul here because the shot clock's at 13. You want to try to get a great stop here. I would try to prevent a pass straight in to the post area.
13 to go. McManus inbound, and she's in a little bit of trouble, keeps her balance, but we've got to go. 8 seconds on the clock. Arzner checked well, and just a beautiful look, a cutting off the ball. Unfortunately, the defense was good until the last moment there. Passing up the 3. Had a good look at it, but Counts elected to drive and picks up the non-shooting foul. Good defense for Wilsonville until it wasn't.
Yeah, that's the old backdoor action, Coach Cossey. We run a similar action. If you're Wilsonville, you need to have talked about that at the timeout, that's what they run out of timeouts.
Nice handles for Arzner. Down to Riddle. Little dump over to Summers and one, and that might be the beginning of the end here for Wilsonville. A great valiant effort. They're going to need to do something real special in the last 2:18 to overcome.
Yeah. It's interesting basketball, so it's an 8-point game. Timeout, McMinnville. Good execution. They execute, get a bucket, get a stop, and it's essentially game over, right? I mean,
with that rebound and hoop, it really looks that way. Yeah. And that's just, how quick your fortunes can change.
And that's why you got to play every play like it's the last one. I know that's a cliche, but it is very true.
Jekyll almost gets the steal there. There's Summers in the open floor, and she passes it to the other team by accident. Good front look, no dribble necessary for Ryan Jekyll. Good looking fast break there. Love it when the ball never hits the floor. And now it's just kind of some street ball. Arzner with another basket. I think the contest is decided, but all of a sudden, they're just playing with some reckless abandonment. Arzner, big and strong. He's definitely got the body to play at the next level. Lazy pass and good hustle out of Blankenship. Jekyll back to Blankenship. Yep, he's going to call the 3, and her stroke has looked great today. 9 points. It's going to take some Reggie Miller magic here. Ruby Riddle. Kick it back to Arzner. She's just going to hold it.
It's not a good foul.
And what are you going to do with one team foul? Like you said, it's going to take a long time to get into the penalty.
At that point, at 19 on the shot clock, you might as well just play that one out. Because now if you're in the foul game, which that foul would indicate they've committed to the foul game, you still got to foul 3 more times. That probably, and not to blame players. That's something you practice every day in your time score situations. We talk about it. We line up for a free throw. We talk about it. What's the time? What's the score? How many fouls? So that your players get that basketball IQ to be able to do that. late and then have some special calls from the bench.
Looks like we're going to get some cheerleaders to the next game. I don't think we've had any cheerleaders yet.
Interesting. Is that who do we have in that? That might be from upstairs. Is that?
Oh, it could be for upstairs. We're getting Jefferson and Nelson.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know.
Could be Jeff. Could be Jeff. That's their colors.
Yeah, the Lady Demos. School's right in my neighborhood. Go kick it around on the soccer field. They used to have a sign welcoming all in the neighborhood. This is your field, come play. But I've noticed they've taken that down.
It's always something, isn't it?
It's always something. Still, everybody I've met there has been so welcoming, and there's some fun little pickup games that get going. Summers going to pick up the foul, but it's just a little late to play the foul game with 2 team fouls and 41 seconds to go.
That decision would have had to have been made at the 3-minute mark or so, 3 or 4 minute mark. Because again, when they were 0 fouls, this situation was inevitable.
And now you have to with 41 on the clock and 33 on the shot clock.
If you're McMinnville, you don't really even need a shot. You just want to get open, secure the ball. And now, again, your shot clock reset in high school, so it goes back to 35.
College game goes to 25?
It depends on where the foul is. If it's in the back court, it'll reset all the way. If it's in the front court, it'll go to 20.
Arsner's double teamed and another foul. Is this 5 or 4? 5, so we'll get the 2 free throws. Arsner a chance to pat it. Stat line.
This will be a big one. This gets it to 4 possessions. That's really almost an unreachable amount. I always like to think that that's kind of the magic number for me.
Yeah, some of the bench players are coming in. We've got Ryland Carton checking in. Also have Scout Jones has gotten in the game. Kylie Dinger.
Should be a baseball player with that name.
Right? Home run hitter. And there's a carry, a harsh call at this stage of the game.
It was over and back or carry? What do they call there?
I thought she carried it, but I couldn't really see. Usually they're going to give them that forward momentum. And Dinger's going to get herself to the line.
I always think of the Little League World Series, and there was a young man that introduced himself, and he said that all he did was hit dingers. So every time I hear that, I think of that young man in his intro, and I can't remember his name, but I can see his face. That kind of went a little viral, as they say. And
there's a chance for Dinger to get herself on the score sheet. Unfortunately, a little bit of the storyline is she just hasn't had her shooting touch today. Stepped out of bounds. There's a turnover. It's an 11-point game, 15.9 seconds. Valiant effort for the Wildcats, but McMinnville's going to come away with the victory. Moultrie from way downtown made that look easy. And another steal, and she's probably going to get this one pretty with the left hand. Felt the pressure, changes the final score. 77-71 McMinnville. It was a great second half push for Wilsonville. They made it interesting, showed a lot of heart, but just too much talent.
Too much physicality, I think, from McMinnville, and obviously Arsner is a great player. Moultrie, a great player for Wilsonville. I think both have big futures. Wilsonville plays 5A. They're not in the highest qualification, so they have a good chance to be state champs at the 5A level. I think McMinnville trying to get down to the Child Center, be among those final 8 teams and see what happens. Again, Coach Costy's a great coach. He does a terrific job, and they're a good, solid group. That was a fun game to do.
Yeah, enjoyed it myself. Well, there you have it. The final score, 77-71 for the McMinnville Grizzlies. Hang tight. We're here with Oregon Sports Beats, calling the Pacific Office Automation Holiday Classic Day 2. For myself and my partner here, Kurt Guelsdorf, we're going to say goodbye for a few moments. Get yourself a drink of water, use the restroom, and come on back. We've got Nelson versus the Lady Democrats from Jefferson High School. Should be a great matchup. We'll see you in a few minutes.